That's it. Yes. Yes. That was not my gavel. Okay, so welcome everyone. My cell phone says it's 7 p.m. and today is April 12th. And the first item on our agenda is call to order and roll call. So the record will show that all 6 of us are present. It's just that 4 of us are present in person and 2 of us are on Zoom. We'll move to the approval of minutes for March 31st, 2022, regular meeting budget workshop. Does someone want to make a motion to approve those minutes? So Larry has the motion. Is there a second? That's right. So Dave's got the second. And so any changes to these minutes? And I did see a comment. It was from Jessica Bolte. And she said, quote, "I did not say educational events, I stated community events." That was what she wanted to change. So let's see, it would have been in her citizens' comments. It says members to participate in education events such as ... And she wanted to change that to community events. Any other changes to these minutes? Yes.
I had a comment, Aaron, Rob Wurge.
Oh, hold on. I got Dave here, and then I'll come to you, Rob Wurge.
Certainly. Aaron, you came across very clear. I can't hear Dave if he's commenting.
And so then you want it to clarify to say the new finance director and something? Yep. Got it. Okay. All right, so we should put D. Johnson as the salary of the new finance director and the salary of the director of Department of Public Works. Okay. Any other changes? Rob, were you going to make a change, or were you just saying that you couldn't hear what Dave was saying?
Two things. One, no, I don't think anyone can hear other than you. We can't hear anyone. Aaron.
Okay. So, if people speak, if you can pull the microphone closer to your mouth, then the people on Zoom can hear. Okay, go ahead, Rob.
My comment was in section 6, where there were Board of Finance member comments. I don't think where it says the grand list shows an increase of 34 million. I don't think that's after revaluation, but they were Dave's comments. I think that's the increase in the grand list due to other things that happened in terms of home values, et cetera, but I don't think it was part of the revaluation.
So if we were to change that to say the grand list shows an increase of 34 million and change, and then period at the, and not say after evaluation. All right, that's what you're looking for, Rob? It's just to strike the words after evaluation.
Yes, but I'm asking if Dave agrees because they're really his comments. It just didn't make sense to me. I wanted to be sure that that's what he intended.
It's easy enough to just strike the words after evaluation if that's what you want to do. Is that what you want to do? Okay, we'll strike the words after evaluation. Rob, anything else?
No, not here. Thank you.
Anything else? Rob Mann, anything? Anything from anybody here present at the table? All right, so then all in favor of accepting the minutes with the following adjustments made for what Jessica Bolte said in citizens' comments, what Dave said under Board of Finance member comments about increase in the grand list, and what Dave said about the salaries of the finance director and the director of Department of Public Works. All in favor of the minutes with those adjustments, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? This carries 6-0. We will move on to correspondence. And so in addition to the email that we received from Jessica Bolte talking about her comments as recorded in the citizens' comments section of the March 31st minutes, we also received emails from Michael Darcy and Sherry Harmon. They both submitted emails to the Thompson, Connecticut CMS mailer. I don't know if that's the Board of Finance email address, but it's an address that people can go on and they can send a message to the Board of Finance to send them their thoughts. And so both of these were favorable to the animal control officer in Thompson. Although, so both Mike Darcy as well as Sherry Harmon. Although it should be noted that Sherry Harmon puts her address as the 19 Victoria Drive in Moosehead. So I believe that means she is not a resident of Thompson. That's what's listed here for correspondence. Any other correspondence to come in since the last meeting that's not captured here? Any correspondence? Okay. We'll move on to citizens' comments. And it is budget season, so we usually have the 3-minute rule. Is there any citizen here this evening who has a comment at this time? And if, for the record, you could please state your name and address. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yep, that's fine. That's so the folks on Zoom can hear you. Oh, no worries. And so again, if you can state your name and address, please.
So if she's not injured animals, we contact her. So basically, with the help of Janice and injured animals, they don't. But as a resident of Thompson, I have been destroying my own animals. And residents say, "Should've." Which of course, I live on a residential farm district. So by the time I call a game warden or a trooper, I've already gotten bit, you know? So the only thing that I have is a gun. And under the law, if they destroy my animals in a farm district, I have a right to shoot it for destroying my animals. So what do I do with an injured animal? You know, the game warden says, bury it in my backyard, plant sunflowers. And right now, the only thing is I've been working with Janice. I've also worked with my daughter-in-law. And the whole thing is, with all the dogs in Thompson, they really need a full-time ACO. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm out in my own yard working in the garden, and there's a dog, you know, taking me on in my own property. So do I pick up a pitchfork and, you know, I mean, it's kind of hard. And then when they get injured, what do? Call Janice? You know, or, you know, we're caught in between. So a full-time dog officer is what, ACO is what we need. You know, I mean, Janice had done a tremendous job on the kennel and everything around there. So with donations coming in from different areas and stuff, and her working with the animals of adopting out with people that match, is I think Janice is doing a tremendous job on that, because I had surrendered an animal to her where an elderly gentleman could not take care of it. And Janice found them a tremendous home. You know, and she works with people If it's a vicious animal, she knows what to do and work with them to where they're capable of, you know, surrendering them to a new home with children or an elderly person or whatnot. But as far as a full-time position, I think Janice is more than qualified for that position. You know, and that's, you know, it has nothing to do with my daughter-in-law. She has her own business, but as a resident of Thompson, you know, I mean, that, you know, I find it, I've been here since 1980, and it's very hard when you're going out in your own backyard and you have a dog stalking you. And the only recourse is, you know, going through and getting a gun permit. And that's the only thing. You know, right now is I have wild animals in my backyard. You know, it's like being a kid again, is collecting 2 kettle, you know, covers to get rid of them, you know? So, but that's where I stand, Janice. Thank you.
Any other citizens? comment? For the record, Steve.
Aaron, I have a comment.
We've got a gentleman who just stood up. Is it okay if I get to you in a moment, Kathleen?
Yes.
For the record, keep please state your name and number.
Jason Chin, 150 Wilsonville Road, North Providence. So I've been a resident of Connecticut almost 2 years now. Since moving here of September of 2020. Shortly thereafter, I met Janice. And I've worked with her, volunteered with her as many hours a week as I can. Between myself and my fiance, Danielle, we single-handedly adopted 5 animals from Janice. The most recent one was 3 animals, soon to be 4 or 5, whatever. The point of the matter is the volunteer work that I've done with her, the animals that my fiance and I have rescued. Without the love and support that Janice has been doing, these animals would end up either dead or, you know, euthanized, put down. You know, the most recent success story that we have was Samson, a 6-year-old Great Dane. Janice rescued him. He was 107 pounds when he was rescued. Myself, my fiance, Janice, Dr. G, the vet, over the course of 3 weeks, 4 weeks now, he's now almost fully healed and weighed in at 120 pounds yesterday. Outsourcing the animal control instead of having it in Thompson, in my eyes, is a bad mistake. It's a bad idea. The budget for the school is $20 million this year. Divided by 980 students, K through 12 in Thompson, works out to be $20,000 and change per year, per student.
Mhm.
And we can't give Janice the full-time job, the full-time pay that she deserves. I think we need to think long and hard about where the financial board and decisions are being made.
Kathleen, you wanted to make a comment?
Yes, I do. Kathleen,
you.
all right, Kathleen Herbert, 122 Wilsonville Road. I'd like to say a few words in favor of the town administrator. I think people don't quite understand, and I'd like to make it clear what the position of a town administrator does and is. The town administrator is a professional person who's educated in and experienced in the management of a municipality. They go to school, they go to college, and they major in managing municipalities, which we all know is becoming very complex as time goes by. They report to the Board of Selectmen. They're responsible for the day-to-day operations of a town. They make decisions, but not major decisions. Those are made by the Board of Selectmen, who will continue to meet twice a month as they do now, similar to the setup of the school. We hired a superintendent. She is the CEO of the school who reports to the Board of Education. She doesn't make major decisions. She doesn't set policy. The Board of Education does that. That would be the setup under a town administrator. And also, I've been hearing all over the place that the Board of Selectmen or only few people would hire this person. We didn't do that. When we went out to hire the superintendent, we set up a hiring committee, which was made up of a cross-section of everybody, of all the shareholders in town. We had a couple of Board of Ed, we had a couple of the administrative staff, we had a couple of teachers, we had citizens, we had some business owners in town. We had a cross-section of people in town on that hiring committee to choose the new superintendent. We had parents to choose the new superintendent. And I'm assuming that you would charge whomever to hire, to do the same thing, to hire this administrative assistant, because I'm town administrator. Because I think in today's world, this position is a desperately needed position. One, for continuity, and two, to run this town the way it needs to be run. Sometimes elections, and I'm not saying every time, but sometimes elections are personality contests. And we don't always get the most qualified person in as first selectman. We need a professional running our town the way a town should be run. And then the Board of Selectmen together make a final decision. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Any other citizens' comments? Could you approach the microphone and state your name and address, please?
Hello, my name is Danielle Carlson. I live at 3 Rachel Drive in North Grosvenor. Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight as a taxpayer, a local business owner, a parent, and a current Board of Ed member. I can tell our Board of Finance wholeheartedly these budgets were created thoroughly and meticulously on a needs base. If the proposed cut of $250,000 is made to the Board of Education budget, that is ignoring need. These cuts will have direct effect on the education of our students. What will these affected places be? It will be salaries, supplies, and extracurricular activities. What won't be and can't be cut are the actual drivers of this increase: contractual needs, special ed costs that are state mandated, the cost of fuel. These increases are $698,000. A $250,000 cut sets us to immediately be underfunded for FY 2022 and 2023. The town budget, cutting the funding for a town administrator is cutting the desperate lifeline we need. We leave the fate of our town's growth and prosperity to the winner of a political popularity contest every 2 years. This person could have zero experience in municipal management, but if they have the most votes, they have the job. I commend our current first select woman for identifying and acknowledging this challenge in our town and pushing forward with a logical solution. The benefits of a town administrator are they will provide continuity between town departments, facilitate a more productive and efficient town operation, and will have the know-how in creating financial growth for a town like ours. Most importantly, they are qualified and they are experienced. In addition of this position, there will be a minimal tax increase with the offset of the first selectman's salary and the future tax revenue and grant funding that would be brought to the town from the administrator. Our votes and voices will still be heard. We will be electing a Board of Selectmen that will be overseeing this town administrator, voting on important topics that will still be voted on by our Board of Selectmen. We should always continue to support current services that we have, such as our animal control services. Albert Einstein once said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's exactly what we do here, year after year, by not funding our town and our school properly. We still, though, every year expect our town and school to flourish. That is the epitome of insanity. In the thought process of, if in the thought process around making these cuts is today's financial challenges. I'm not immune to these challenges. I am a business owner. I also have a monthly grocery bill. It's more than a mortgage. And I pay the same price at the pump. I ask our Board of Finance to see the bigger picture, not fit what you think our town wants and needs are in a certain mill rate, but off of actual and factual information that's been presented to you in these budgets. I ask that you push forward the town and school budget as is, untouched, to referendum. Let our townspeople be the voice. If they decide that's not what they want to invest in, then we go from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens comments?
Yes, I would like to
Wait, hold on a second.
speak up.
Hold on a second. We got a person here in the room who's about to approach the microphone, and I'll come right back to you.
Okay,
If
Thank
could
you.
just give me an address, please.
Sure. Tom Angelo, 640 Fabian Road, Board of Education member, President of the Turtle Rock Trust Association, member of the Alumni Association from Turtle Rock Class of 1986, and also a member of the Thompson Building Committee. It just became very evident to me that there needs to be a little more education on our budgets. Even though the school budget on paper is 19.8 million, it's not really 19.8 million. It's 12 million. 7.8 million, I believe, or 7.7 is refunded to the town as revenue from the state and federal agencies through grants and through stipulations that we have to put in place, which are mandated. So the real spend plan for the education is about 12 million, which equates to about $12,800 per student. And yes, you're right. The current enrollment is about 987, I believe. In addition to that, the proposed cuts that I've heard might possibly be happening, and the way that Danielle just eloquently stated, we are also facing a possible addition to one of our special education areas, where this is something that towns have to anticipate. We may be having a student that comes in and the cost on that one student, which requires 24-hour care, which we're responsible as a town, equates to about $364,000. How do you budget for that? So that would put us in a deficit of about 600,000 between the cuts plus that one student coming on board. So again, it's a tough situation that we're all in. I commend everybody that gets up here to speak. Not everyone is a public speaker, but I also commend everybody on the boards that are in this town. And I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Tom, thank you. There was someone on Zoom who was about to share citizens' comments. If that person on Zoom wants to go ahead, just please state your
Okay,
name and address.
my name is Gail Brooks. I live at 34 Oakwood Drive in Thompson. I'd like to talk a little bit about the work that Janice, our ACO, does. We've had an issue for exactly 2 years of incessant barking all day into the night with no results. After I sat outside and submitted a 3-day bark log, still no results. It got to the point where I basically just wanted to move. It was a very bad situation. It affected my husband's work as he works from home. And the only person that solved this problem and solved it very quickly was Janice. I don't know what I would have done if she had not been on board and taken the action that needed to be taken. She runs a very, very interactive, transparent Facebook page. She's reunited many animals with their owners. And she's also educated people on how to raise their pets, which helps the pet, it helps the owner, and it helps the people that live around them as well. I think this position is very valuable. I don't know what I would have done without her, and I know that there are other people out there that have said the same thing. I mean, we don't have a resident police officer. That's something that I'm not on board with. But getting rid of the ACO position, I just can't see that happening. Well, we have too many issues in this town. It affects the quality of life for some people. And I just wanted to put that out there. I have full support of her position. She works very, very hard. If I call her at 3:30 in the morning, she answers the phone, she gets up, she takes action. And I just think the position, especially Janice, and the way she works, really helps the quality of life here. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments here in the room? For the record, could you please state your name and address?
Greg Milford, 510 East Thompson Road. I met Janice through the dog pound. When I went to adopt the dog she had on Facebook, I donated a roof on a dog pound to try to help the town out with keeping it. I'm a business owner in town, and I donated the roof, and she's helped a lot of animals in town. A lot of other people. I don't have a lot to say because I'm not good at this, but I just got to say something because I pay a lot of taxes in town, and I don't really care about the education and the kids and all that crap. I don't. So I'm gonna tell you, I like dogs and I like animals, and she does a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? If you could please state your name and address.
Vanessa Honig, 254 East Thompson Road. Every time I've called Janice, no matter what the situation, whether it be domestic or wildlife, she's always immediately responded. I think it's her passion, how much she loves what she does. And I really, really would hate to see her go. She is such a positive part of Thompson. Please keep her position. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comment? Could you please approach and share your name and address?
Elizabeth Sullivan, 84 Cordes Road, North Grovenordale. I just wanted to come to support the position of Animal Control Officer in a full-time position. Janice has come to my rescue a few times in the past few months, and I know that she's come to the rescue of my neighbor with very dangerous animal situations that I was petrified and could not handle myself. So I'm grateful to her and coming out immediately on a Sunday morning and taking care of potentially rabid animals. On 2 occasions, a fox and a bat. And we had a dangerous shepherd roaming through the woods. And my neighbor called and Janice came right out. So we are very appreciative of her. I just wanted to support that, say that in her support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comment? Here in the room. Any other citizens' comment? Go ahead. If you could please state your name and address.
Fred Smith, 78 Lettinen Road. I'm actually Janice's husband. So I know all the work she does 24/7. We often can't do family events, etc., because the job's more important. And if there's a call and someone's in need of assistance, she's there. Also volunteer work, helping people in the town, citizens, putting up fences on our time with supplies I happen to have lying around to resolve issues because a lot of it, she should be a psychologist. It's neighbor versus neighbor. You know, I don't like my neighbor, so I'm going to complain about their dog barking or walking on my grass or peeing on the lawn. So when we can help and help people that are not able to help themselves, or maybe putting a fence between some yards or something, we do that. That's it.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? If you could go ahead and state your name and address, please.
I'm Steve Thomas, 402 Brandy Hill Road, Thompson. Personally, I've dealt with Janice. Janice has been a wonderful person to deal with. And I've heard some other horror stories of things that she's dealing with out there. And she is on call. She said, you could call me 24 hours a day. She said, if you have a problem. Now, not far on my property, I had a black bear. Okay. I have raccoons. I have all kinds of wildlife. Seems like they're all conglomerating in the back of my house. So I haven't had to call her very much. But I sincerely urge you to keep her in this position and vote for the budget, what she needs. I think she belongs there rather than counting on like NECOG. I mean, I have no information personally on NECOG, but from what I've been told by reputable sources, that if we have to call NECOG, okay, we're going to wind up waiting an awfully long time for somebody to come. Now, I just don't know what else to say, but I support her highly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Here in the room. Any other citizens' comment?
I have a comment via Zoom.
Could you go ahead and state your name and address, please?
Sure. My name is Dr. Gwen Gomo. I am a small animal veterinarian. I actually don't live in the town of Thompson. I live in Woodstock, but I grew up in the town of Thompson. Graduated from Turtle Lot. I am one of the veterinarians that works with Janice with one of many of the animals that she has taken in that needed veterinary care. I have dealt with a lot of animal control people in the past, and few people have had the passion and compassion that Janice has. There have been many situations where she's taken animals in on the weekend and she's known that they needed emergency care. So she's reached out to me and we've dealt with what we needed to deal with on a weekend or after hours. So I know that she's putting in an awful lot of her personal time, more than just, I'm sure, what she's getting paid to do. And I would be very upset to see this position done away with. I think it's very important for the town to have a local animal control officer. If you outsource this, you're going to be part of a very large conglomerate, and the wait times are going to be very long, and you're not going to get somebody who really cares about the animals themselves. So I strongly urge you to continue to fund this position. I don't know what else I can say, but I've worked with her personally on a professional basis. And I know I always try to do things as cost effectively as possible to help the town out as well as the animals. My primary goal is that the animals are taken care of. I don't really care what it costs. A lot of times I will do things really at no cost to the town just to make sure the animals are taken care of. So I think it's super important that you continue to fund this position.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Go ahead, Jessica, if you could just state your name and address, please.
Jessica Bolte, 1081 Riverside Drive, North Grosvenordale. am
Mhm.
speaking tonight as a taxpayer, as a parent, as a Board of Ed member, as a PTO board member, another PTO board member, as well as a youth group advocate in your town. We need to put forth the budget as it stands, as the town of Thompson residents need to understand that the budget's put forth on what the actual needs are in the town. We go year after year where we make cuts that are not necessarily known by every resident before it's put forth to a budget referendum, and then more cuts because they don't understand what the budget actually is until after the fact. I would like to see the budget as one whole put forth as is. An ACO officer is necessary in this town. Town administrator is becoming necessary in the town. School budget, there are no wants in that budget. Special ed is a requirement. Fuel to transfer our students to home, to school, and back again is a requirement. You are all offered the opportunity to sit forth in any of our budget meetings. Only one of you would grace us with your presence. And at this point in time, there's always that caveat of, well, we don't know what line to tell you. So I'm asking tonight for the Board of Finance not to make a cut to any portion of the budget, and to please, going forward, to participate further in budget discussions before we get to this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments, either here in the room or on Zoom?
Aaron?
Go ahead, Sean, if you could state your name and address, please.
Yep, Sean Brissett, 342 Lowell Davis Road. I apologize if I sound a little out of sorts. I've been fighting COVID for a week and a half now. You know, I have a recurring theme, Aaron, you know this, usually gets a chuckle, that our budget workshops are Groundhog Day. Every spring we come together and we wonder how, okay, you know, how do we keep it at zero this year? How do we keep it at zero this year? Long-term planning never seems to come into the conversation. And I was floored a week and a half ago when a new member basically said, without having been at these meetings for the last 10 years, he was going to be the leader of Groundhog Day and just cut $800,000 off the budget. I don't know how someone does that without really analyzing, which would, to me, involve talking to the people who spent thousands of hours putting this budget together and giving the due respect that they all deserve for the hard work they put in to every line item. You know, whether it's a $5,000 line item or a $5 million special ed line item, it's the effort that gets put in that is completely disgraced by sitting at a table in one night and lopping $800,000 from a budget. And that's really not, personally, I can say it's not what I voted for when I voted for the people on this board. I expect that they pay everybody the respect that they would want as board members. You put in a lot of hours. This is volunteer time away from your families. And there are thousands of man hours in this budget. So I would like to, at the very least, if this is what's going to happen tonight, I'd really like a detailed explanation of every cut that's proposed and how it came about. What was the thought process behind that particular cut? And if it was just simply a means to an end, then you absolutely are not doing your responsibility as a board member. As far as the town administrator, you know, if you go back to the early 70s, we had a gentleman here in town who, through his greed and connections, had an off-ramp put right in front of his property, rather than over on Route 193, which would have greatly benefited this town to have a four-way interchange instead of a two-way interchange, and a possibility of a industrial park that the people who sat in the chairs that you guys are sitting in and that all our elected officials sit in, decided, oh, we didn't need an industrial park. And here we are, 40 years, 50 years later, still wondering how to properly fund our town. It is a big business. This is $30 million a year. And every 2 to 4 years, we're replacing the person at the top. And I want to know, anybody who's against the town administrator, I want to know what successful business they've ever been involved in, they've ever worked for, or they've ever heard of that changes its leader every 2 to 4 years and expects success. We need continuity in the town hall. We need a business mind. We need to run like a business. And that's what this town administrative position, which by the way, has been being talked about both sides of the aisle for years now. It just so happens there's finally somebody in that office that's willing to give up their job for it. And the previous first selectmen's weren't, even though they talked about doing it. And so here we are at a crossroads where we can either move forward, which is something everybody likes to talk about. People like to talk about getting lower taxes, bringing business in, but then all of a sudden, somebody wants to do that, and here come the brakes. We have a million reasons why we're not going to do it. So I would implore you, as has been said tonight, this budget should go forward to the people to let them voice their opinion. If you're trying to represent the people, you have overwhelming support tonight for the budget. You were elected by the people in town, and at least tonight, the people paying attention are overwhelmingly in favor of moving this forward. So I think you should take that into account as you act tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens comment?
Aaron?
Hold on a second. I've got a person in the room. You can state your name and address, please.
Yes, Andrea Edmonds, 21 Fairway Drive, North Grosvenor. And as a volunteer, I have seen like Janice come to help us while we're cleaning out. And before you know it, she's got a phone call and she's off again to get another cat that we're not even supposed to take care of. They're not dogs. And the other day I was just at the West Dam, that beautiful day, and walking my dog, and who's there but Janice with 2 dogs. She could have just left them in the kennel, right? Feed them and say, have fun. But no, she took the trouble to take them all the way to the West Dam, a nice workout on a beautiful day. She needs to be funded. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other, Kathleen, were you going to share something?
Yes, I would like to speak in support also of expanding Janet's duties, because I have seen her walking dogs and she is a wonderful person and gives of her time. I also want to encourage the Board of Finance. It's not, you have to think of what our town needs. You know, you cannot continue to give the town a $500,000, $0 mil increase and expect our town to grow. It's when you develop a budget, it's you think in the mindset of what does this town need to function? What does the town need to continue on to grow? We have roads that need to be paved. They're falling apart. We have not funded this town adequately. You saw the slide that the school prepared where you haven't even funded the school enough to cover inflation for the last 5 or 6 years. That is not only funding special ed, which we're mandated to do, that takes away from the general ed's funding. We have bridges that are falling apart. That's dangerous to this town. We're not funding our town to the level that it needs to be funded. Your job is to fund the town and its needs. The people want roads. The people need safe bridges. They need an animal control officer who is meeting the needs of the dogs and even cats in this town. And she seems to be doing that beyond her duties. We need to fund her. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments here in the room? Citizens' comments here in the room? Any other citizens' comments on the Zoom?
I have a comment.
If you can state your name and address, please.
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sharon O'Connell. I'm at 49 Fernwood Ave. I just wanted to, I have been dealing with Janice for the past few months. I have 2 rescue dogs, 1 and a 2-year-old. And my job is to protect these dogs. I have come across 15 loose dogs in the past 6 months because of irresponsible and inconsiderate owners. I am afraid to even walk down the damn street. So 8 of these dogs have either approached my dog aggressively or attacked my dogs. And luckily, they're okay and they're safe. I do not own a gun, but I'm ready to buy a gun because I am afraid when I walk out this house and just take a nice stroll that I'm going to get viciously attacked, and my babies are too. So Janice has been beyond helpful to me. To me, my safety of me and my dogs is priceless. I can't even believe there's word of even eliminating this position, not being able to fund it. I just think I'm blown away that we're even having this conversation. Janice I can't even believe that Janice only works 20 hours. I shouldn't say works 20 hours. Janice is funded for what? A part-time job? She spends like 2 hours a week on me alone. So I don't know how this isn't a full-time job. Her support has been, she's been responding left and right. She's given out warnings, 3 warnings in the past 2 weeks from me alone. And I've seen changes. When she goes to those people's houses, I've seen changes. I've seen these dogs on leashes, and she's just, I just want to remind you, the Board of Finance is required to act in the best financial interest of us taxpayers. I can't think of anything more important than these animals that don't have a voice. Janice is the voice in between me feeling safe and these rescue dogs that we don't even know what they've been through. But when they get attacked on the street, it's completely ridiculous. So Janice is my voice and their voice. And I can't even imagine contacting NECOG in Dayville when they have 20 other towns to deal with. It's ridiculous. I really support Janice, and I really hope that you guys have enough common sense and respect to, give safety to me, my dogs, and all these other people. Animal control, it's even beyond that. There's dog abuse. There's so many other things Janice does. I don't think any of you, maybe you guys have an idea, maybe you don't, but her job doesn't end at the end of the day. That woman is compassionate. It never ends. So that's all I have to say. And luckily, none of my dogs have been hurt or anything, but I'll tell you, I feel safe that Janice is nipping these things for me because I have anxiety every time I walk out of this house. If you ever see me, I have a stick in one hand, pepper spray in the other. And pretty soon I'm gonna have a holster. I mean, I don't want it to come to that. I don't want to hurt other dogs. But if they're gonna touch my dogs, then I am going to have to do something about it. So Janice has been beyond helpful to me, and my well-being of me and my animals and everyone else in the town is priceless. So thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Any other citizens' comments here in the room? Here in the room? Any other citizens' comments on the Zoom? Sounds like someone on the Zoom wants to share a comment. Did I hear that correct? Did someone say something? Again.
Aaron, it's Sally White,
Oh, Sally, could you state your name and address, please?
308 East Thompson Road. I'll be brief. I wasn't going to speak, but unfortunately, one of the persons that has spoken remotely has left an impression, realizing that there are a lot of younger people listening or perhaps sitting in the room, and a lot of folks that are new to town. I want to reassure those people that the gentleman sitting at the table has great in-depth experience with budgets, with the school budget, with the town budget, and has put multiple hours into analyzing this budget. And I think it's most unfortunate to cast aspersions on the depth of knowledge and skill and hours that have gone into that. And so for those people that are younger and that don't know all the board members sitting there, rest assured that you have a lot of knowledge and savvy experience. And by the way, there's a silent majority out there that will support the gentleman at the table taking a merciful and practical approach that will serve all the citizens of the town. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Comments here in the room? In the room? Comments on the Zoom? Any comments on the Zoom? Anything else before we move on? Anyone? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your comments. I appreciate that. We'll move on to budget workshop. And my notes stop, at least on this printout that we have here. My notes stop at ground supplies parks. So I think that means we're about, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were about to move into transfer station. The page doesn't have a number because everybody's is different. But transfer station, I believe that's what we're about to move into. Okay, thanks. Any comments here? Hold on, just a point of order. This is the part, we've moved away from citizens' comments now. Oh, no, no worries. I just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware. Now this is the part where the Board of Finance moves in. Now, if there's someone here who is like a department manager or someone who is directly involved with the management of a line item, we will often welcome their input on our deliberations here. But as far as comments, if someone isn't directly involved in the management or directly involved in the department, we just, in order for the sake of being able to move through, we just kind of move through. It's no offense to anyone. It's more just a practical matter. Thank you, though. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
What about the transportation on the plus side? Revenue side, I wonder if there was any point in making investments on there. Consideration of that.
It's not something that we've discussed at this point as a Board of Selectmen. The Transfer Station Advisory Committee met in January, and it's something we might take up again in August, but it wasn't on the radar for this year in particular. Right. There was, and I can't completely answer just because that was our former Public Works Director's department. I believe there was a lot of fluctuation within the recycling market that made things a little uncertain. Oh, just the permit.
Steve, we can't hear you. Sorry to interrupt, Steve, but we can't hear you.
Right.
I don't think we would actually budget that. Well, I kind of hope to kind of set the cost of our.
Well, it's certainly something the Board of Selectmen can take up.
Anything else on transfer station? I mean, there's the $1,000 for other supplies, but, and then there's a couple
Excuse me,
of
Aaron. Aaron, can
900.
you
Go
hear me
ahead,
okay?
Rob Word. Hey,
Sorry to keep,
your voice sounds muffled for some reason. It seems that everyone else on the Zoom, their voice comes through clear. There's something about your microphone, but go ahead. I mean, we can hear you. It's just that we
Okay.
all kind of have to bend our ear.
okay, that was my comment. I can hear you and I can hear Amy, but when Steve is speaking and when Dave spoke earlier, we can't hear everyone at the table.
That's my fault. I didn't have the microphone very close. I just didn't get-
Were you able to hear Steve that time?
No, but I can
Oh,
hear
interesting.
you clearly.
I guess it kind of like,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
A little better, Steve.
yeah, so I guess it's one of these, you kind of have to lean into it kind of things.
I can hear that, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
It's working. You just have to be close to it.
All right. Anything else under transfer station? Like I said, we got it looks like operator, that's probably the 1.5% or 1.75%. What is this, telephone? Is that what it is, telephone? Or it's, by the time my eyes scan all the way across, yeah, telephone is up 950. That's a lot of telephone.
That is actually internet service.
Oh, okay, that'll do it.
Internet had been added so that we can run a credit card processing.
Makes
So that's part of the staff.
Makes sense. Anything else on the transfer station? Let's move on to cemeteries. Anything there?
I had a question, Aaron, on transfer station
Go ahead, Rob.
for the 2022 original budget, 340,610. How are we tracking against that year to date? And what do we think the full year will be for this current year?
I'm sorry, Rob, what are you asking? This is Amy St. Ange. Are you? So, okay, so year-to-date expended is 229,533. I can go line by line for you if you'd like. There's currently $35,000 in encumbrances. So that would leave an available budget of 76,000 at this time.
Oh, the 229 doesn't include encumbrances?
No,
Oh, so then in addition to the 229, what were the encumbrances?
35,000.
35. Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Rob?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else for transfer station? Okay. Cemeteries. I don't think anybody had anything there. If not, move on to snow removal. And of course, the big one is salt and sand. Yep, that would be the big one.
The 150, we got the $150,000, that's the default, that does not include the 50,000 we did not.
We
did not add.
Did
You,
we?
you approved the potential expenditure at this point.
Pending in the board. of
Right.
selectmen,
Correct,
and they have
correct.
not-
And we have not, but the budget at this point was $14,000 over,
over the 150.
over the 150. But thankfully, we're out of the woods, I hope.
Hopefully. I'm proposing that we cut $20,500 out of the snow removal budget. Fine. Because I don't think we need $200,000.
And Dave, you said 20,000. Okay, so you're proposing that we make it 179 instead of 199.5?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you want to put that in the form of a motion?
So move.
Okay. There's a motion on the table to make the salt and sand line item 179 instead of 199.5. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
So Larry's got the second. So Dave has the motion, Larry has the second. Any discussion on that motion?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Rob.
Rob Word. If we finish this year, if I heard Amy correctly, we'll finish this year at $164,000 in salt expenses. Go from the 164 to the proposed 199.5. Is that all price increase or is that volume of salt? In other words, what's the logic behind the increase?
Rob, the logic behind the increase was the increase in cost at 33%.
And that's a contracted number or a quoted number that you're pretty certain that it will cost us 33% more for the same amount of salt?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I'd like to point out that in 2018, 2019, we spent 172,000. The following year, we spent 67,000. This past year, I believe it was 164,000. It's a guess. There's no question about it. If we have a bad winter, we're going to spend more money. If we have a light winter, we will not. We also have we haven't got to that, say that it exists. Increasing it to 179,000 should be sufficient on an average.
Go ahead.
The shed fault,
No, it is not at this time.
so if we tell them, it's what insurance is, that would mean.
I believe, I'd have to double check, but I believe it's about $35,000
To fill.
to fill.
So I think that's for,
We're pretty low at this point. Yeah. I can get an accurate number for you.
I'm just thinking with the supplemental appropriation that we already approved, subject to Board of Selectmen approval, would that fill the shed? If you, because it sounds like the dollar amount would that would fill the shed.
Correct.
Yeah. Any other discussion on this motion? Here in the room at this table or on the Zoom from the Robs? All right, we'll go around the table and I'll start with a Zoom. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Wurge, how do you vote?
No.
Steve,
No.
Dave,
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. So this one carries 4-2. Anything else under snow removal? If nothing else, then we'll move on to Building Board of Appeals. Looks pretty quiet there. Anything under Building Board of Appeals?
Aaron, I think you skipped building official.
Did I? Sorry. Yep, that's because the heading is at the top of this page and I thought it was the remainder of snow removal. Yep, so thank you. Let's move on to building official. Anything under building official? Looks like we've got a 3% salary increase with somebody and a 1.75 with somebody else. Mhm. Anything under building official?
We got a year-to-date number on the emergency safety expense. We spent very little in past years. We have budgeted over 5,000, but
Said the emergency safety,
emergency safety expenses.
0.
We spent zero.
Yes.
We spent 120 last year. That's what I was doing for a couple of years ago. You know why we would want 5,500 again?
Let me see if they put any notes in. I don't quite remember. I apologize. I don't have any notes on this, but I do believe it's in case a building is condemned and needs to be boarded up in any way. That's just supplies for that.
Do you recover that? From the owner?
Not typically.
believe in 2019-20, we spent $929. The previous year. I make a motion that we cut this down to $1,000.
And which line item is this?
The emergency safety expense, it's $5,500 now. Reduce it to $1,000. Most of the spending we did in 2020.
So you want to reduce it by $4,500. So there's a motion to reduce under the building official department, line item emergency safety expense, to reduce that line item from $5,500 down to $1,000, yes? That's the motion. Steve's got the motion. Anybody want to second that motion?
That's second.
So Dave's got the second. Any discussion on this motion, either here at the table or in the Zoom? Discussion? We'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Wirch,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. This one passes 6-0.
That's deduction.
That's a reduction of $4,500, brings it down to 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else under building official? Okay, we move on to building board of appeals. Building board of appeals.
I believe that's a placeholder.
Okay. Right. Okay, human services. Is that Northeast Transit District? Is that the one that's up 4780? So I went to human services and immediately into that is general services. Okay, good. Maybe that's okay, good. Yeah. And I noticed, I think it's Northeast Transit District.
Choose the population.
Yeah.
And that population.
It is determined by population, but in the past, we had arranged for a lower rate. And then last year they recalled us on it. So this is bringing us right up to where the rates are supposed to be.
Okay, got it. Is Northeast District Department of Health in here, or is that a different place? Oh, it's down below. Because last year they hit us.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's,
last year they hit us pretty good.
I think it's.
And I protested and they really had no interest in what I thought.
they hit us good again.
Yeah, it's different department. Yeah,
It's
when,
coming up.
yeah, when we get there, I'll complain again.
Yeah.
So Northeast Transit, we're back to where we should have been. Basically, we were getting by on a discount previously.
I do have a question. I wonder if you could explain miscellaneous programs.
Yes, I can go into that. The subline item that I might not have showed you. So in the miscellaneous programs, we have the Sexual Assault Crisis Center. Typically, we contribute $100. We have the Quinnebog Valley Senior Center, which is located in Danielson. We proposed contributing $200. Access Agency, $1,000. The Last Green Valley, they do a lot of programs here in town, like Walktober, et cetera. $250. The Eastern Connecticut Land Bank, $10,000. And I can explain that in greater detail if you'd like.
Please.
And then Day Kimball Homemakers approached us. This is their first time requesting any funds, but they do a lot of service within town. So the Board of Selectmen opted to contribute $1,000.
Go ahead, tell us about this Eastern Land.
Okay, so the Eastern Connecticut Land Bank is an organization that assists towns in brownfield cleanup, et cetera. Currently, it's a group of all volunteers, some attorneys. In fact, I believe Rich Roberts contributes and donates his time. That's our land use attorney. Wayne Bugden, Marion Shinati, Tira, our town planner, is on the board. And what they do is they identify brownfields, work to help towns clean up the brownfields and then potentially purchase the land and promote it and develop it. Currently, they are eyeing 630 Riverside Drive. That's the old Belding Corticelli site. And they just recently approached the towns in Wyndham County to contribute. I know Putnam contributed, I believe, $50,000. And this is to help establish a permanent full-time position as administrator of the program. So we see value because we still have some brownfield cleanups.
So come again with establishing a full-time administrator.
I'm not as versed
Who would
in
that
it.
person work for?
It-
NECOG? That person would work for
No,
NECOG?
the person would, it would be, they
Well,
would work for the land bank itself.
Got it.
It's not a new concept. There are other land banks within Connecticut.
And this is a person who would work as a result of towns making these contributions?
Correct.
Got it. Go ahead, Dave.
I'd like to make a motion that we cut $6,050 from miscellaneous programs, leaving a result of 6,500, which is actually doubling the amount for this year.
So Dave just made a motion to reduce the miscellaneous programs by what amount?
$6,050.
$6,050, that's 6050. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
So Larry's got the second. Dave has a motion, Larry's got the second. Any discussion on this motion?
I have some comments.
Go ahead.
Karen.
Go ahead, Rob.
I get the need for work in the budget. I just, this kind of an area is, in aggregate, is not a lot of money. It's a big problem in the town. We have an eyesore at the Belding Corticelli intersection. And I know there's no guarantee that a $10,000 contribution is going to clean that up. But what it will do is it will support, along with other towns, to get focus on those areas. So I just, I feel like of all our places to contemplate, this is one that I feel the people in town would value and respect, given the wide range of agencies and services that this 12,550 would be going to.
Any other discussion?
Just to make sure I understand, it's to fund the director of this.
Correct. Establishing it more in a
It's not
professional
funded
manner.
from the side.
No, it's just to fund the
Is this a
program.
private organization?
I think it's a not-for-profit 501c, I think.
The Eastern Connecticut Land
It's
Bank?
not
Yeah.
public, but it's private.
Right, correct.
Any other discussion? And this
Yeah,
10,000, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just going to add, because I know a little bit about Eastern Connecticut Land Bank, and I think that they also, and maybe Amy could confirm this, in providing some guidance in terms of cleanup, it helps also attract investors who might otherwise not want to embark on such heavy lifting. So it's an avenue to help get these properties at a level where they may be of interest to people that may want to invest in them for the good of the town. Is that
And-
correct, Amy?
That's absolutely correct, Rob. Thanks for bringing that up. As we know, in the case of 630 Riverside Drive, we know that there is some contamination on the site. It's been determined that it's not as bad, but just the whole idea of approximately $400,000 in cleanup would scare any investor away. So to have the aid of this organization that would help us get the brownfield grants that we need and work directly with an investor or developer to develop the property is huge. So yes, you are absolutely accurate in what you just stated.
And so the total of the miscellaneous was 9,300 and the motion in the second was to reduce it by 6050, yes? And so I guess my thought is if we reduce miscellaneous programs by 6050, which line items is that supposed to hit, right?
That's the business.
Okay.
Go to selectmen's business.
Because now, granted, the motion is the motion. But I'd be willing to take a targeted approach and just remove the funding for the other line items in order to maximize as much as possible left over for the Eastern Connecticut Land Bank. But the motion is the motion. And it's been seconded. Any other discussion on this? All right, we'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Werge,
No.
Steve? Dave?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. This one carries 4-2. So just to clarify, that brings it down to 3250. If we remove it by, we reduce
Yes,
by
that's
6,
correct.
reduce it by 6050.
That's correct.
That means 3250 is what's left.
Yes.
That's not correct.
And we basically,
I don't think that's correct, Aaron.
did we remove it?
6,500. It was 3,250.
Um,
Because I'm, okay, sorry. Am I looking at I'm looking at miscellaneous programs and it says $9,300 increase.
It was $12,550.
Am I looking at a different version?
It's now 6,500.
You said you wanted to, because somebody made a motion that it was, had to do with 6050.
Proposed is 12,500.
Oh, because I have to do line.
So
by
am I
line.
looking at a different
Okay,
version
you're
of
right.
this?
Thank you.
I'm looking at 9,300,
Increase.
right? Okay, great.
That's the increase.
Sorry. Yep, thank you. I was looking all the way to the right. So, yep,
6,500.
Yep.
Be the final,
got it.
which is actually doubling what we presently have budgeted.
Okay. So just to clarify, for the purposes of Dottie getting the motion correct, we reduced miscellaneous programs by 6050. So now the remaining appropriation is 6,500. And we're delegating to the Board of Selectmen to decide how to allocate those funds. Okay,
I would prefer to phrase it as we increase that budget by 3250.
duly noted. Anything else under general services? Anything else? Anything, while Thames Valley Community Action is still in front of us? Anything? Okay. Move on to Veterans Service. That looks pretty quiet. Anything there? We'll move on to Public Health Nursing.
Fantastic.
Go ahead.
I need to know the answer. I noticed that the actual numbers for prior years, I'm looking at meetings, fees, et cetera. I assume those are fees.
Which-
Vision fees that they have to pay. And most of the past, they've spent $1,400-$1,500.
Sorry, we can't hear you, Steve. Sorry to interrupt, Steve. We can't hear you.
Which department are you looking at, Steve?
Yeah.
All this, is this better?
Perfect. Thank you.
I noticed that in past years, we spent, I'm rounding up the numbers a little bit, $1,500 and $1,400 for actuals in 20 and 21. I'm not sure where we stand today, this year, but we're budgeting a decrease in that.
Which department? I'm sorry.
I'm
Steve.
sorry, Veteran Services,
Okay.
meeting fees, et cetera. That's probably-
Oh, you know, I didn't get a printout on that one. I did not do a printout on that one. I'm sorry. I didn't think there'd be a question about it.
Small dollars, and if that's the appropriate amount, fine, but it just looks like a drop.
Yeah, can you open it up? Open it on the screen?
Yep, I will. So on veteran services, the salary we increased by 3%. Professional
Meetings
and fees, $1,200.
Yeah.
And you said that in the past?
In the past, it was, again, rounding a little bit, $1,500 in 2020, $1,400 in 2021.
I don't have an answer. I just know Bob, this is what Bob had submitted to us.
Anything else here? Veteran service?
That's what was requested.
Yeah.
That's something we put in.
I just want to make sure before we move on. Anything else? All right. So this is what the department head requested. We'll move on to public health nursing.
And that's going to be your NDDH.
Yes. I guess not as much of an increase from last year.
It was technically a 7% increase they were proposing, but our population went down slightly. So it's averaging 5%, almost 5%.
Because I remember last year, they hit us with a pretty big increase. It went from 54 to 65.
Right.
And then the year before that, it was 48, which is what made my hair go straight up, and which I actually, yeah, I actually had some words with them by email. They were not very interested in what I had to say, but I don't know, maybe by making a bit of a protest last year, maybe they decided they might want to save themselves the static of listening to me again and go a little bit easier on us. Okay. And this is one of those, it is what it is kind of things, right? They send us an invoice, we have to pay it. Civic and cultural. Yeah, I've got something called civic and cultural, and then there's nothing under it. That goes into library administration. It must be a place. Is everybody go into library administration now? Okay.
Yes.
Anything here?
Two items there.
Go ahead, Dave.
Books and periodicals and AV materials. In books and periodicals, we're looking at a 4,000 or 11% increase. AV materials, we're looking at a 25% increase for $2,000. I'm recommending that we decrease books and periodicals by 2,000, and giving a new total of 37,000, which is actually 2,000 more than last year. And on audiovisual materials, I'm recommending we cut 1,000, increasing that to 9,000, which is a little over $1,000 increase.
Do you want to put that in the form of motion?
So, yes, so moved.
So Dave just made a motion, and it's a combo. It reduces books and periodicals by $2,000, yes?
Yes,
And that would bring books and periodicals down to $37,000.
correct.
And okay, that's the motion. Does somebody want to make a second? Larry's got the second. Any discussion on this?
Mr. Chair, could
Go
I
ahead.
ask a question?
Yes.
I thought it was my understanding in the past that the library board, that you always just cut flat on the budget and they made the adjustments accordingly.
Good point.
Am I inaccurate? But that's the way.
You're not inaccurate. You're
Okay.
correct. So we do line items when it comes to
The
the
community
building,
correct.
but they decide how to spend.
Well, I would
If you want to,
retract my motion and recommend that we cut 3,000.
all right. So Dave has withdrawn his motion. Larry, are you willing to withdraw your second?
Yes.
Okay. So now remake the motion.
I make a motion that we cut $3,000 from the library.
The motion is to cut $3,000 from the library budget. Somebody want to second that? Larry's got the second. Any discussion on this?
I just have a question. I noticed, these are in COVID years. I wonder if that's impacted our prior years spending in those areas. And as I noticed it's actually down from the years before.
I don't have prior years. I have where they are currently, if that's helpful. Do you have a specific line item?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about books and periodicals.
Books and periodicals. Hold on a second. I'm not as
And
familiar with
just sort of
it.
recap, we spent roughly 41,000 in 2020 and 37,000 in 21. And the proposal now is to make it 37 again.
Right, year to date is $21,182.
21? You said 21 and change?
Yes, that's year to date expended.
It's to reduce their budget by 3.
Right. So year to date, but I just want to make sure what Amy's saying is year-to-date is 21 and change.
Yes,
Yep.
but there is encumbrances
Okay,
that are listed at
For-
11,155.
so 31, 32.
Yep.
32 and change, maybe even 33 if you throw in the halves. Okay. Motion still on the table and been seconded for reduction of 3,000. Any discussion on this?
Again, since this is really on the whole library as opposed to just those two lines, but I think it's logical. It's appropriate that you identify sort of what you're thinking about in terms of the reduction.
I think I do.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I was just curious as to, on the library, I think it's library assistance line, that's going down. And that was
Yeah,
kind of
appears to be going down.
I don't have an answer for you, and there's nothing in the notes. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I wish Allison was here.
It's okay. Any other discussion on this, either around the table or among the Robs in the Zoom?
I don't know how we're gonna end up voting, but I don't know how we're gonna end up voting, on it, but it wouldn't be inappropriate if the library could represent themselves, if they speak to us.
Right.
Not trying to make this, they have to show up, but just, it would help us understand it.
Right. Agreed.
Any other discussion on this motion? Motion is to reduce $3,000 from the library administration budget. Hearing none, we'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Ward,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. I believe this one passes 6-0. I didn't hear anyone vote no.
Yeah. I'll just take it.
So that leaves 392, 584. Yes. That leaves 392, 584 because we reduced by 3. Okay. Library, Lewis P. Fosher Community Center. This is where we do have say over specific line items. Discussion here.
I had a question, Aaron, on
Go ahead,
the
Rob.
line item, third one down, evening custodian.
Yep.
What did we spend, what have we spent on that line this year? 15,312.
We've currently spent, Rob, $7,153.75. We did go part of the year without an evening custodian.
And also a few line items down, electricity, 37,000.
Currently, we're at $30,012. And there's encumbrances listed at 18,000.
18,000?
Right, yes, that's what's listed
Yeah.
here.
So we've spent 30 and we've got 18 encumbered.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So we're there.
48.
Yeah, we're there.
We're over.
That was 30, that was 37 for next year, enough for next year? 37. Okay. I understand that, but we're spending 48.
So the
Right.
electricity went from 31,000 to 48, or is something wrong there, Amy? That's where. we're encumbered.
All I know is the report that I have in front of me that I grabbed from finance today. I could inquire about it. It does seem high.
Yeah.
Considering the previous 2 years was 36 and 32.
Right.
I see the 32. Which fiscal year were you looking at, Dave, for 36?
Both 20 and 21.
18, 19.
Okay, got it. Yep. Mine, got it.
19, 20 was 32.
I see. You're looking, yep, got it. You're looking at the, this one. Yep, got it. So notwithstanding our questions about electricity, is there anything else in this department that anybody wants to dig into? Anything? All right, so we need to find out what's the story behind electricity. Okay, we ready to move on?
A couple more questions, Aaron.
Go ahead, Rob.
Water and sewer, it was 5,000, under 2,000 the prior years. What have we spent on water and sewer?
I have $1,029 with 360 encumbered. 3,600 is available.
That may be an opportunity.
That begs a motion.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the line item above it, for building repairs and maintenance, 20,000. What have we spent to date on that?
$6,244 and 9,700 or roughly 9,800 is encumbered.
so 16 grand.
Correct.
But the prior years are not out of line.
True, true. They're not.
But we also did some extensive repairs, Steve, to HVAC units and heating units that don't necessarily need to be repeated.
That's
every
true.
year. Yeah. So I'd make a motion to drop that down from 25, that line item from 25 back to 20. And drop the 5,000 line item down to 3,000.
So I'll tell you what, let's do this one line item at a time. So Rob Wertz, do you want to make that a motion? Building repair and maintenance from 25,000 down to 20?
That's correct.
All right, so a motion has been made to drop building repair and maintenance from 25 down to 20. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Steve's got the second. Any discussion on this? Any discussion? We'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Wertz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. This one passes 6-0.
Would you review that?
And it brings, yep. And it brings building repair and maintenance from 25,000 down to 20,000. Now, Rob Wertz, did you want to make in the form of a motion reducing water/sewer charges from 5,000 down to 3,000, was it?
Correct.
So a motion has been made to reduce water sewer charges from 5 down to 3,000. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Rob Mann's got the second. Any discussion on this?
I don't disagree, but I would probably cut it more, honestly.
Do you want to amend that motion, Rob Wertz?
It's small amounts.
Okay,
No.
with that, just ask.
I'm good
Yep.
there.
They have flexibility within that bottom line anyway.
They do. Okay, so the motion and the second is water sewer charges from 5 down to 3,000. Any more discussion? We'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Wertz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. This one passes 6-0. So we brought it down to $3,000 from 5 to 3, yes? So that line item, water sewer charges is now $3,000. Anything else under Louis P. Fosher Community Center? We'll move on to celebrations. Looks like there's not much going on there.
I did have one other question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I noticed, we talked about the evening custodian. It's not a full year, so it's lower at 7,153 versus the 15,312. And there's another line item for $2,000 for cleaning services. What have we spent on that? That was zero the prior year.
It's still zero.
Really?
In 1819, it was 1790. The following year was 1644. And
And zero.
we don't have any zero this year.
Then two.
Why, I can't explain.
Right.
Zero. Yeah, right. Was it zero last year? Because I don't have.
Yeah.
Do we know why it's been zero the last 2 years and why we think it's going to go back to 2,000 this year?
I don't have the answer. I'm
Yeah.
just curious. Was I don't have the budget book in front of me. Wait, I do. Hold on.
It's okay.
Sorry, just trying to get my bearings. I wish I had better answers for you.
It's okay.
So my only guess is that that service was used prior to there being an evening custodian. Oh, no, I guess there's always been an evening custodian. I don't have an answer.
She's still requesting. it.
Right, right. So,
Unless it's a special cleaning, depending on some breakdown. with
right,
the cleaning services.
correct.
Prefer to leave it. Emergency stuff. Cleaning services. Bring in an outside cleaning for special cleaning. Whether it's hazardous waste or whatever.
Or we're going just in that general category, $16,000.
1,600.
$16,000.
Oh.
I'm not talking about that line, I'm talking about like 21.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
21.
Morning custodian.
Morning and evening and overtime and.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that.
But go ahead,
You
Steve.
spent $16,000 in 2021. We're now saying we're going to spend more than double that.
Well, I understand if you don't have an evening.
I'm told we're deciding we want to double our. And maybe it's appropriate because in 21, there's probably more than people going through. this.
Right.
Oh,
And I
don't know.
I can only guess that, like Dave was saying, maybe special circumstances like carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, something that an evening custodian might not do. I can only guess that
I
that's
think he's
what it's in the
questioning
budget.
the Evening custodian. which-
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got it.
no, I'm not
Sorry.
questioning it. Just in total, the total cost for those 4 items.
I see, I see.
Going from 16 to.
Okay, I see.
I see.
94.
You're doing the math in your head and you're adding some line items together.
Yeah,
And then,
4
yeah,
items,
got it. Yep,
16 to.
Yep.
4.
got it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Thank you.
And maybe it's appropriate, but it's.
So,
Well, in 2021.
16,000.
No.
Yes. 16,000.
According to my book, it was almost 31,000.
Budgeted.
No, yeah, budget.
Budgeted, actual was 16,270.
That's correct.
Oh, I see.
16,000. I would.
right,
16,000 actually, not budgeted.
What I'm saying is, I think there's an error. What they're saying is there was no evening custodian.
That may be true. It was COVID time.
The library was open.
yeah. But,
That's been one way or the other, but it's elected.
Yeah, I understand. And there's a.
maybe we should, maybe if
Have
there's
Allison
anything,
come
yeah.
in for
Or,
the
or
next
just
meeting.
send an email or if she wants to come in, that's
Okay.
fine.
Answer to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
And Steve might be correct. Maybe
Okay.
she didn't have an evening custodian.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if during COVID, they
What
just
year
did
was it?
curbside pickup.
21, FY 21, just for the evening custodian?
Well, the 4 lines are going from, again, in total, when in FY 21, we spent $16,000. And we're now going to get for 34,000.
Right.
Maybe it is appropriate.
What's the spend this year on the morning custodian? 16,623.
This year, we're at 12,171 year to date.
Any
Not
conversations?
gonna spend all of that.
Nothing encumbered? It's just a salary.
That's
line,
just a
right?
salary, yeah, correct.
I'd suggest we come back to it as a placeholder. I mean, it is going from 16 to 20, call it 24 to 40 over a 3-year period.
Anything else under library, community center? Anything else? Okay, hearing none, celebrations. Looks pretty quiet there.
It's paid to the veterans groups, VFW, American Legion, for their parades. And
Yeah.
I think it's, yeah,
I imagine the Memorial Day parade is in here.
correct.
Exactly the same number. of years.
Yeah. It's just a stipend to them.
Quite a few.
Yes. Historical Society. Anything there? Recreation Commission.
I have a question on the director.
Go ahead.
It seems to be a significant increase there of 10.75%. I'd like to, first of all, hear an explanation of why. And, depending on that explanation, I would offer an amendment.
When our recreation director was hired this past year, there was an agreement when we contracted him that his salary after 6 months would increase. So that's why you see the increase. We actually pulled it from other line items in the budget to be able to give him that increase, but this is something we contracted with him. There was an agreement when he was hired that would become his salary.
That would be salary for
Correct.
coming year.
Yes,
So meaning you pulled from other line items within Recreation Commission
correct.
to make this one go?
Yes,
Got it.
to find the talent that we needed for the job.
Okay. So if I'm correct here, we're only showing a $7,500 increase in that budget. For the whole, right?
Recreation Commission, right, I'm seeing 75.56
Yeah.
increase.
So adjustments were made to cover that increase, which amounted to 57.29. Well, you compare the budget. But it doesn't matter, in fact. Or that line.
Yeah.
And then I'm just saying it's been compensated for, not compensated for, but the budget only increased 75.56, where the salary increase is 57.29. So.
Any other discussion on Recreation Commission? Any other discussion? Okay, move on to Economic Community Development. Looks like just the 175 for the salary. 1.75%. This is economic/community development.
Okay, I see it.
And it looks like the only increase is the 1.75% for salary. Is Director of Economic Development a union position?
No,
Doubt it.
Right, because isn't the 1.75 the amount that all the union
Yes.
workers were getting?
That's
the union and the
Yeah.
full-time directors.
Got it. So we just decided to,
It was the
Make it-
part-time individuals that didn't have benefits that received the 3%.
that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else under Economic Community Development?
That might have put the fire.
Go ahead.
I know specifically states 37.5 hours.
Who, I'm sorry, for what?
It talks about the hours for the director.
Which director? I'm sorry.
The director of,
Oh,
the rec director.
We're back to rec.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, no,
It's going backwards. But it was 37.5 hours is what it says. Isn't that just a salaried position? And
It is salary. It is
and
salary.
So it's the 37.5, is that
I don't even,
mean anything?
I don't, where are
And
you
the problem
seeing?
is it's been an issue.
I just don't know where you're seeing the 37.
Oh,
hours.
it's
Oh, it's in the
number of hours per week that's next to Recreation Director.
37.5 hours.
Where am I seeing it? Oh, yeah.
It says
Yeah, 37.5 hours.
Oh, that's odd.
Right, it wouldn't be in the old book that has the plastic spine. It's, maybe it is.
Recreation.
Spending itself.
Director.
He actually, I don't even know why that's there.
It's in the.
It's, I can see it now, but he actually works 40 hours a week.
And sometimes I think that's.
Plus.
Usually in other areas in the past.
Right.
It's listed as an hourly rate in the.
Yeah, somehow that got pulled over when Orla pulled some of the numbers and added, put in the names.
Well, it has been listed.
No, he's not hourly, he is salaried.
I apologize for going back. I apologize for going back.
No, that's okay.
Anything else under economic community development? We'll move on to community development. That looks like a placeholder. This is a bunch of zeros. Right. Right, planning and zoning commission. Looks like there's not a whole lot of change going on there. Anybody for planning and zoning commission discussion? Then we would move on to, it says CO and wetland officer. It looks like a placeholder. I'm looking at a bunch of zeros. Then we move down to zoning board of appeals. Looks pretty quiet there. Anything under zoning board of appeals? Inland wetlands commission. I'm seeing the 3% salary increases for staff. There's something for advertising, an extra $200. It's big percentage wise, but it's $200. It's not significant. Anything inland wetlands before we move on? Conservation Commission. Looks like there's staff salary increases there, although they don't come to a lot of money. And that was it?
Actually, I'm sorry if I can interrupt,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair. When these numbers got pulled over, I thought, because Orla was still here when we initially pulled the numbers over, there is an error on the conservation officer salary. It should not be 17,764. It should actually be 26,000. I apologize for that mistake. I didn't pick up on it until after the Board of Selectmen had approved the budget,
26 even.
26 even.
So
Next year.
And then 26 is what he currently is, so we would have done the 1.75% increase on the 26.
Since we had, we're talking wetlands or?
Conservation officer.
and that's so conservation officer should be listed as 26 for the what, for the 2022 original budget?
Yeah, 26 and then plus 1.75.
Right, so I'm gonna scratch out 17,459 under 2022 original budget, and I'm
So-
gonna put 26.
26,455.
26, 4. And so I just want to make sure that the correct location for that is under the 2022 original budget.
20, no. It's for this
It's
year's.
for 2023.
Correct.
26,455 is current.
That 26, what it will be with the 1.75%
That's next year.
this coming year, yes,
Okay, that's what we should be budgeting, 26,455.
correct.
Right, so that's what I mean. I want to make sure that I'm writing 26,455. I'm writing it in the FY '23 proposed budget line.
Correct.
So then, hold on. Then what, how did this,
Our budget will be right because he started well into the year, so we'll be fine for this year.
so in my mind, I just want to reconcile that with what I'm seeing under 2022 original budget, which is 17,459. Does that mean that number was stated too low?
It was, well, it was stated when, for the former conservation officer.
Got it.
who
So
we had lost.
Got it.
Present is 26.
26 was what he was hired.
Got it. So
So
that's it.
Over this previous year, it's a significant increase over the current year.
Correct.
All right. So there you go. So that means we've gone from 17,459 to 26,455. And then in addition to the 26,455, we're going to do the 1.75%.
No, that includes,
That includes it. Okay, got it.
but, Mr. Chair, I just
Go ahead.
curious, is that going to need to be a motion because it is altering what the selectmen had proposed? Additionally, we had also discussed the Public Works Director, and I haven't made the change there because I don't believe a motion was made for altering that. So,
We didn't alter.
right.
I'll make a motion that the 2022 budget for the conservation officer is $26,455.
So Steve, I just want to make sure your motion was the 2022, but I think you mean the 2023. Okay, so go ahead.
The FY23 budget, 26,455.
So a motion has been made to increase the line item called Conservation Officer up to 26,455 for FY23. That's the motion.
Increase of 8,996.
That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Larry's got the second. So Steve's got the motion, Larry's got the second. Any discussion on this? Discussion, either around the table or in Zoom. Hearing none, we'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rob Wurch,
Yes.
Steve, Dave,
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. This one passes 6-0. So this line item Conservation Officer now has 26,455. Anything else under Conservation Commission? Anything else under Conservation Commission? All right, Economic Development. Looks pretty quiet, except for 4,000.
Printing.
Yeah, 4,000. Yeah, my eyes just scanned down there. Huh. I wonder what is, yeah,
We reduce that item by $2,000.
there's a motion on the table to reduce the line item called printing and publication. Printing and publication. Motion's been made to reduce that from $5,000 down to $3,000?
That's correct.
Okay,
That's
that's the motion.
Reduce it by 2,000.
Yep, reduce it by 2, bring it down to 3.
Correct.
That's the motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Also.
Larry's got the second. Any discussion on that?
That's the question. Do we
Go
know-
ahead.
Do we know why the Economic Development Group was even asking for $5,000? It's a very large increase.
There was a note in the budget. It's for marketing mailers or reprints of Z maps, which were a popular item this past year. We worked with the Eastern Connecticut Tourism District on producing airline trail Z maps. So it was a tourism.
Thank you.
I have in mind, you're talking marketing, and is there a printing and publication different in marketing? Just Trying to find it in my previous budget. Oh, printing, 1,000. Here we are.
I'm trying to find that.
Okay, we had marketing and publications, 2,500 was this year, and printing was 1,000.
For FY22.
Marketing comes out this year with what's not included. Well, the two, yeah,
Marketing might be under branding initiatives.
Oh, let's see.
so actually, do you have the up to date on those two?
Just a second. Nope, I don't, because that's tier 7.
We have, if.
I don't have
assume they're
data
being-
on it.
I assume they're being combined in next year's budget. Because
Well-
last year they were two line items.
Oh, okay. I didn't do the printout. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Dave. Printing was 1,000 and 1,000 and 1,000 consistently. And then what was the other one?
Marketing
Marketing,
was put in last year at
yeah,
2,500.
2,500.
That was a new expense.
Right, so 3,500 still.
But marketing is not there this year, but printing
there.
is up to 5.
It's up to 5.
And in this department, there's also the branding initiative line, which is spent $1,600 in 21, and about $15,000 in 23. So far, maybe it is
There is a note,
to that.
well, there's a note in the branding initiatives. It says funds are intended to be held as a pool of matching funds for grant opportunities related to economic and or community development. A lot of times when we have the opportunity to get a grant, we need a match
Okay.
fund. So that's kind of forward thinking on EDC's part.
Should we include a sum like that in contingency rather than in the budget itself? It's a question.
Right.
I hate like putting money like that in the budget. I would have no problem including it in contingency. We
I
haven't
see
got
your
that far yet, but
I see your point.
sometimes you put something in there and they're gonna spend it. I'd rather have them come to us and say, we need it for a particular grant and take it out of contingency.
And so we can discuss that. I just want to make sure that we come back to there's the motion and the second.
I'm
on
gonna
the-
withdraw my motion at
Okay.
this point if Larry will withdraw his second,
Okay,
because I think
Larry?
there
Okay.
needs some clarification here,
Okay.
unless you want to. I'll be
No,
happy to make another motion, but I don't know how Rob's feel.
well, for purpose of parliamentary procedure, you've withdrawn your motion, you've withdrawn your second.
Yeah.
If you have something else that you want to do, that's okay.
Well, I'll make a motion that we reduce the what's the branding initiative by 15,000.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it in with the condition that when we get the contingency, that we include that in our contingency.
You can put that as part of your motion right now if you want.
I'm doing that.
Okay, so then let me just clarify. Your motion is to reduce branding initiatives by $15,000 and increase contingency by $15,000. That's the motion. Is there a second to that? So Dave has a motion, Larry has a second. Any discussion on that? Any discussion?
I have a question. Prior years, we spent $24,000. So are there other initiatives beyond just the contingency for grants? The reason I asked the question is that's basically the whole budget. If we blow that out, and we only tie it to contingency for grants, if there's other branding initiatives that the department wants to do, they're going to be basically at a zero budget for that area.
In the past, Rob, thank you for asking that question. I'm looking in the book from last year, the budget book from last year, and they had the pop-up retail village that they were putting money towards in branding initiatives, 65 Main Street and Garden by the River, and then Trainwreck Park.
Right. So in 2020, it was all bundled into one line item. And then in 2021, it was broken down into projects.
Correct.
Now it's put back into a bundle. I'm not necessarily averse to moving it to a contingency if that's truly, if it follows Dave's logic of what it would be used for, but I think it may be used for other things in addition to that comment. And we're basically gutting it to zero. So I'd just be a little cautious there unless we have a little more meat on the bone, if you will, as to what's going on with that 15,000.
Rob, I think I agree with you. I see basically we've been spending in the 20s on projects, and taking it to zero seems a little drastic.
I don't think I'm taking it to zero. I think I'm allotting what is being asked for, but presented in a slightly different fashion. Because we don't know what the projects are at this point in time. All I'm saying is they come forth to the Board of Selectmen, with the project and they need $3,000, then we take it to the Board of Finance. We know we have it in the contingency and I have no objection of spending it in that fashion. But I like to know what I'm spending it for.
Any other discussion on this motion? The motion is to reduce branding initiatives by $15,000 and increase contingency by $15,000, thus moving this amount from this line item to contingency.
Why would we not do that in other areas then, if that logic holds? Why are we doing it for this one, but we're not putting other items in contingency?
I'm only looking at the previous budget. Last year, they defined how they wished to expend that money, and it was approved. This year, they have chosen not to define that money.
But in years before, it was just one line and, you know, it was 24,000 the year before and 21 just on the
Yeah,
branding
I
initiatives line.
I understand. I wasn't here.
Well, I'd feel better about knowing what their list of projects are, because I remember in years prior having a discussion about not defining it, because then it's tied to those exact projects, and then when other projects come in the middle of the year, you don't have a bucket for the branding. It's really all they have, and they've done a lot of work in this department in rebranding the town, and I don't know, I'm not comfortable with, I feel like we don't have the director here, and I don't fully understand what the projects would, potentially could be. I'm sure there's a list of projects. So by pulling it really ties their hands in terms of what they can do.
Any other discussion on this motion? Motion is to reduce branding initiatives by 15 and increase contingency by 15,000. Any other discussion on this motion? Hearing none, we'll go around the table. Rob Mann, how do you vote?
Yes.
Werge,
No,
Steve, Dave,
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
I'll vote no on this one. That means it doesn't carry because it's 3-3. And I'm with Rob Werge on this one. If we can maybe hear a little bit more about this, then we may decide to move forward with this after all, but we may not. I'd be interested in hearing a little more. Not saying the door is closed on this, just would be interested in hearing a little bit more. Now, I do notice my cell phone says it's 9:02. And I know that, well, we're almost
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
I would say,
Is everybody okay with getting to the end of this operating budget?
I would be in favor of it.
Okay, now I know within the tail end of this operating budget, I do believe we have transfers. And that's usually is connected to the capital improvement plan, which usually has a heck of a lot of money attached to it. So,
Well, yes and no.
so then in the immediate term, building committee. Building committee, that's the next department. Building committee. Anything here?
Special meetings, I mean, it's $800, but we've never spent it. It's only budgeted. I don't know what we've done so far, but I guess, but that's a guess. We're sort of going from a $1,600 spending per year to close to doubling it. Unless there's some logic.
That was something the chair of the building committee had requested a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
Well, it goes back
Yeah.
to 21, I think.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
last year, 600, 800.
Well, maybe COVID prevented some happenings. Maybe.
I do know the building committee is carrying a lot more projects right now, so it might be prudent to keep it in.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else on building committee? Then we move into fringe benefits. There's some movement here. 19,000 for what, workers' comp?
Question, Amy, do we have any firm numbers in this area?
We don't. I'm meeting with the insurance company on Thursday. We're
Got
hoping
it.
to get some
Probably
good
Thur-
numbers.
be Wise to take a look at this Thursday.
Yes.
Right, put a placeholder on workers' comp.
Well, I'm talking to all of fringe
Yeah, all of
benefits.
these.
Yeah. Many of them tied it to each other.
Of course. So go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, the life and health insurance budget, you don't know. Estimate per person kind of thing, would you have to go to each person and think what their plan is gonna be?
It's, I believe in the past, Orla would estimate it just on the entire payroll.
So on average, it's a 1.5 person.
It's not
Right.
based on what, it's
Right.
not based on what people,
On the actuals, she hasn't in the past.
it might be wise to take a look
Yeah.
at that because
I had just talked to Bill about that because that was my one concern
Yeah.
in this area.
that might give us a little help in that area.
And that was what, health and life?
Yes. Because they have three different plans. It's single, husband, wife, and family.
Yeah.
We're waiting on final numbers from USI, who represents Anthem for us.
That's Michelle, our
Yep.
Human Resources Director, Michelle Jamaranaro. Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
What services do we get for professional services? At the bottom of fringe benefits. Wonder what services those professionals provide.
It's a slight increase for those.
Amy, I don't have my notes on me. I believe they're in my car, but I believe that's the actuary that goes up every other year. So last year it was $1,500. This year, Orla advised me to make it 8,000.
Okay.
In 2019, I believe it was 6,000.
Okay.
Thanks, Michelle.
So it goes up and down,
Okay.
up and down. This is
Every
Yep.
other year it will go up and down, up and down.
This isn't up here. So anything else under fringe benefits?
Well, severance is always a guess. You're estimating a little bit lower than we've seen the last couple of years. Is that reasonable?
I'm sorry, where do you see that?
I'm sorry, I'm a retirement
Oh,
severance benefits. It's 1, 2, 3, about the seventh line.
Oh, retirement severance benefits. Got it. It's right in the
Oh, right
middle.
there. I saw retirement.
And I think that's where somebody retires, has a lot of sick leave or vacation pay and they collect it. Is that, I believe, what it was for?
I think you are correct.
And I'm just sort of, it's a little lower than we've been running and I don't know if that's sufficient. If it is, great.
Again, that was a number that Orla had advised me to use for their severance benefits.
Okay.
Year-to-date expended is 6,252.
How much was that?
6,252?
Anything encumbered?
No.
Okay.
Do we anticipate any individuals leaving? Retire?
Not to my knowledge.
Right. But, so this is one of those line items where you could have a year that you, right, that you didn't anticipate.
Right.
One of the things you want to do is keep track of exposure.
Yes. Anything else under fringe benefits? Anything else? We'll move on to municipal insurance.
Do we have a quote maybe on municipal insurance for next year?
That's actually what I'm getting on Thursday. Sorry, I thought you were, initially I thought we were talking about the municipal insurance. It's looking better. It's looking closer to 5%. The only thing that could skew that is the cybersecurity. And as we know, a local town just recently
Yeah.
experienced
We'll
it.
deal
So
with that next week,
Yeah.
Thursday rather.
Got it. So that means this $8,700 increase is subject to change depending on where it comes in.
correct.
Right. And
Yep.
also we're looking at health insurance next Thursday as well as
Yep.
municipal.
That's right. Health and life, the one that was up above fringe benefits. So that's the one we're
Yes,
talking
that's
about.
the one
Yep.
I answered the question and Amy answered a different question.
Right. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Okay.
So we're going to municipal insurance because we're coming back to it. We got a placeholder there.
Mhm.
Capital expenditures.
Any question?
No. Any discussion on capital expenditures before we move on? Transfers.
Going down the list, Turtle Lot Fund, 250,000, that's revenue and expenditure. It's in and out. Reval is standard, I believe, at 25,000. We budget each year to pay for the 5 year. Which should be
Correct. Yes.
Library Community Center, we normally put a transfer amount in there for major, and I think we have a roof replacement in that.
There is nothing allocated by the Board of Selectmen. I could pull up the actual capital request. The Board of Selectmen didn't move forward their request for $25,000.
I've got 50,000 I took off of the
Nope,
Library Community Center, 50,000.
that they have some money in an
Oh, I took
account.
this off of the budget. Actually, Guy gave it. to me.
Well, it's not in, that wasn't a request. I can go to capital expenditure.
Okay, maybe I just have a question on it because Guy gave me this. He told me
Okay.
this stuff.
That's
Computers for the
accurate.
library, 4,500?
4,500 is correct.
Okay, I didn't have a question. Roadwork and paving, 435,000.
Correct.
DPW fire alarm, I cut because we already approved that.
That, we had actually already not had that in the budget. So I'm sorry if Guy gave you inaccurate numbers, but he
Okay, so
didn't
that
actually
has
do the
been out.
budget.
Okay,
Amy did the budget.
okay. So, and then the 9-ton truck,
Mhm.
I recommended that we do a lease purchase on that over 5 years. And in consultation again with Guy and Bill, they recommended a number which I put down. I think it was, what was it, 52,000 a year, something like that. That might be, they could check that out, but that was what I'd come up with. So was the fire marshal in there?
What I had in was the fire marshal truck.
Yeah.
The full price of the 9-ton truck.
Yep.
The Buckley Hill Road Bridge Engineering.
Yep, I didn't touch that.
Yep.
So on my cut list would be the fire marshal's vehicle for 55,157. The fire alarm, you didn't even have it in there. And then the other one that I was reallocating basically is a lease purchase agreement on the 9-ton truck, budgeting 52,000 and saving 181,17.
Just touching on time leasing, what's our interest rate on something like that? That's what we have, we put money in, we have funds. We earn 0.5%, then you go lease something and you're paying probably 4 or 5%. Why?
Probably 6 or 7%.
Why would you do that?
Because I don't want to raise the budget, period.
I had, just so that you know, I had actually talked to the lease company while I was doing the budget. The lease company we've done business with. We have 3 different scenarios that were proposed. The first is a 3-year financing at 5.39%, which would be 86,000 per year. 5 years at 4.44, which would bring it to 53,000.
That was all.
And then 7 years at 4.24 at 39,282.
You have money, but there virtually nothing on it. Instead of that, you decide to lease something and pay 4 or 5% interest, it just is.
I question your first comment, when you have money.
We do.
We don't
We have
have
money,
money.
we have. Sorry, Mr.
We're getting this money from the
In fact,
taxpayers.
you can take it out of the budget and just take it out of surplus. That would be a better way for the town.
I look at the surplus, I think you'll find it's way down.
It is, but we're not helping it by just saying we're gonna spend more, just spend it over a little bit. of time.
The printout that I have has the operating budget. This is back from early March. And it just says transfers.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's it. And then it goes into debt retirement.
That's why. I
So
went
that's
with
right.
that.
Is there any way, is there a sort of a revised version of this that captures the line items in the capital improvement plan?
Aaron?
Go ahead, Rob.
If I could, just to add before Amy answers that question, in that aggregate line item you're talking about adds up to 1,229,774.
Yeah.
Yet the number on the screen is closer to 1.39 million. I'd also like to level set on what the total capital expenditure is. What's the starting point? Is it 1.229 million or 1.390 million?
Right. I guess it feels like, and I don't want to speak for the group because there's 6 of us, but it feels like what we're just talking about now in the last few seconds might be bigger than what we can get our arms around, like right now, tonight.
I agree.
Is it possible that we could try to get our arms around that
Thursday.
for Thursday?
But we have a lot of questions which we will have the answers for on Thursday.
Meaning on placeholders, earlier
Yes.
spots in the budget.
Right, and Bill's position and DPW.
Public Works.
Public Works.
So that being the case, we want to move down to debt retirement. We only have 2 departments left, debt retirement and contingency fund.
I didn't question it. Well, the contingency, I would say, at this point, 45,000.
Well, we know that we've just moved 15 over to it. Yep. So that would put it at
I make a
45.
motion, we increase contingency to 45,000.
No worries. That motion, we already covered that in the
Oh,
motion
you
that
did,
was made.
okay.
Yep.
So
No,
that's,
we did not, Aaron. Sorry, Aaron.
Oh, that's right. That motion was defeated.
That's correct.
That's
okay.
right. So do you want to make a motion? Got it. That's right. Thank you for reminding me.
Thanks, Rob.
I think we might have had 2 versions of that.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do have a couple of items or 2 items that I wanted to bring up.
Okay. Do they fit within these
They
last 2
fit within these
sections?
last 2 sections.
Because one is debt retirement, the other is contingency fund.
Yep, if you go to debt retirement, there's 2 areas under interest on bonds
Yes,
and bond retirement.
Yep.
If you look at last year's budget,
Meaning,
under,
2022 approved?
yeah, the actual old budget book,
Oh, hold on.
the old budget book last year's.
Hold on.
So if you go to debt retirement, which is page 103, page 103 of last budget
yes,
book.
yeah.
This was an error that I found. Again, it was after the fact. Last year, Orla had $1,776 for the oil spill interest on the bond. I found out from Paula that it should have been $7,431.75.
Which is this, please? Oil spill?
The oil spill
Yep.
bond issue, it's the interest on bonds,
Okay. And that should have been,
should have been $7,431.75. It was underestimated last year.
and we don't, you don't have it broken out on this.
I
year.
hadn't, it would be included in interest on bonds. So the
But-
55,000 should be more than that.
So meaning it shouldn't have been 1776
Correct. It should have been more.
and it should have been, I'm sorry to make you repeat that number, but I,
$7,431.75. And then conversely, in that same section under bond retirement, the oil spill loan bond issue, she had it estimated at or listed as 17,596. It was supposed to be $90,000. And if
okay.
you look in previous years, it had been 95. And last year, the last 2 years, it was 17.
So 17,596 should have been 95,000.
Should have been 90.
Should have been 90.
90, yeah, because it was progressively reduced.
2021, fiscal year 21 and fiscal year 22, she had it underestimated,
Now, Amy,
not estimated, undervalued.
Yeah.
now, for this year, in your projection, where are you at? Are you correct? Or
I'm not, because I did not discover the error until
Until
after.
after we went to
And
print.
till after Board of Selectmen had approved it. So,
So then, does that mean that these numbers are pending the revision based on this?
They are.
And so I guess maybe when we do whatever update we can get by Thursday to get the
correct numbers?
with the transfers, right? The capital improvement plan, if we can also get the updates to
Sure.
this, that'd be great.
okay.
I don't know if it's possible to do a reprint on all this stuff, just like another
Well, at
round.
least get,
I hesitated to make the changes because no motion had been made
Right. you
when I
need-
discovered it. I didn't,
Right.
because once I make the change in here and print it out, I just, if there was a motion, I could make the
present the
changes and
information
present
to
it.
us and then-
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to do.
So meaning what you just described is up there now. It's just, it's not.
It's not, I
there.
haven't
So
entered
we
it
need to
in
make
because
it.
you have not made a motion.
So
but
then,
we don't know what to make. The
I was
motion.
going to
No,
say,
it's
you don't know what to,
$90,000. Oh, you want the total?
no, I just want to know what should we change
What
this
is it
line item
gonna be
to?
Next year.
Yeah.
We need to know.
If we know what,
It's 90,000 next year
Okay.
for
which, line-
23.
okay, and so is that, which line item is that? Interest on bonds or bond retirement?
Well,
So interest on bonds would have to increase by 90,000
So interest
over
on
what,
bonds.
what the selectmen had proposed.
Okay,
can
Not
we-
interest on bonds, bond
I would
retirement.
prefer to wait and see the numbers Thursday, accurate numbers to make sure.
I can't
I
make
understand
the,
that,
I
but-
can't change it in the system
No,
if you
we-
haven't made a motion.
right, we just want to know what number.
No, I do if you want to
Bill?
print out.
Right,
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Just give us the information. Don't have to print it out
Well,
that
then
way.
just add 90,000 to bond.
that's right.
1 million. One sec.
I would like to see it on paper, but not necessarily a printout.
Okay. I can see what you're saying. You want a listing of what the bond retirement is,
Thank you.
item by item.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I think I have it in my notes. School town bond, 835,000. School roof, 200,000. And the accurate oil spill would be 90,000.
That's fine.
All right, so if I'm following you correctly, you're saying that this line item called interest on bonds that's currently.
No, sorry, bond retirement.
So this line item called bond retirement, which is currently $1,035,000, should have an additional $90,000 in it.
Yes, and the breakdown is on that school, for the school project bond.
Right,
When
but
we did the addition to the school, it's 835,000 every year. The school roof is 200,000 and the oil spill is 90,000.
so I'm going to raise, in order for my number to capture what you're talking about, I'm going to take the $1,035,000 in the line item called bond retirement, and I'm going to increase it by $90,000.
Correct, and that'll make it that line item for bond retirement.
1125.
Yes,
Why is it that I have my bond retirement at 1,052,596? Steve has the same. I think we need to, Bill, we need to reevaluate this and give us an item list Thursday.
Yeah, a refresh, because keep in mind, these were all distributed when we were just launching this thing.
Right.
And we all agreed on that first meeting, there'll be some bumps and then we'll smooth them out and then it'll all go. So that's fine. Like I noticed, mine doesn't look the same as yours in terms of formatting. I don't know if you got the same list I do. We're all pretty darn close, but it does feel like there's,
How I could print it, is what I got.
it's a little wobbly. Yes.
And I printed Larry's.
So that's fine. If we can get our arms around these things by Thursday, it'd be great.
I don't have a
Be
problem.
sensitive to what Amy can and can't publish. Sort of a separate schedule that shows the correct number. So we're not choosing those. That's all right.
yeah, I honestly don't know why that number's there, because it's not what's showing up on my screen and I haven't touched anything. so.
As long as we know what the correct number is to plug into this thing when the time comes, then so be it. We'll plug it in.
Well,
So does that cover everything under debt retirement for now
That is any of the only two changes that
that
I,
you were going to make?
yeah, that I had found.
And so these two errors, I guess I'd call them, from last year, these are both, no, they're not both reflected in this $90,000 because the other one's 7431. It should have been, so that's a different line item.
That was the interest part.
And are we going to
Interest
make an
on funds.
adjustment there?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Got it.
had,
So we've got two adjustments. We've got the big one and the small one, right?
correct.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We just need to know by what to adjust. And where.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. Anything else?
No, I'd leave contingency as it is until we finish our deliberations.
And so anyone, either of the Robs, on debt retirement or contingency?
No,
You're good?
good.
Anything here around the table on these two items, these two departments, sorry. Okay. It's 9:25 and our agenda would call for moving into Board of Finance member comments. Any Board of Finance member comments at this time? Well, is everybody okay with moving away from budget workshop at this time? Everybody okay with it? Any objections? Okay.
Yeah.
Board of Finance member comments. Any Board of Finance member comments?
The only comment I have is on the town administrator.
Okay.
And since it's a number, we have no definition as we did on the finance director. We do not have listed qualification, job description, duties and responsibilities, who the administrator is reporting to, whether it's the first selectman or the board of selectmen. None of this information has been presented to us.
Anything else? Any other Board of Finance member comments? From Rob Wurge or Rob Mann in the Zoom, from here on the table in the town hall? Any other Board of Finance member comments?
Move to adjourn.
One
Oh,
very
looks
brief
like-
comment.
Go ahead,
I
Steve.
really do appreciate the citizens' comments that, we've heard from so many people. I really do listen to them, so I appreciate it. People standing up. It's not easy for everybody. It's good to see them do that. I really appreciate it.
I agree. And usually I'm more careful to articulate that when it's the students from the school. Because I know us adults, it's a little bit nerve wracking for us to stand up and it's citizens' comments and say what's on our mind. The kids, I have all the admiration in the world for them because you can see when they stand up, some of them you can really sense how frightened they are to get up in front of a room full of adults and a table of guys like us, and they go ahead and they say what's in their hearts. And I think it's wonderful. So I am glad that people do come here for citizens' comments because this is our democracy in action. Any other Board of Finance member comments? Gentlemen, any other Board of Finance member comments?
This is,
Gentlemen? We're almost there.
Yep.
Any other Board of Finance member comments? Anything? Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn? So Steve's got the motion. Anybody got the second? Larry's got the second. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone
is
opposed?
this finance director that
Anyone abstained?
is done?
Motion carries 6-0. My cell phone says it's 9:28. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Thursday.
That one, yeah.